Well, hey guys, Larry up here in Uperland, up here at the ferry house, and it is time. I've stored away all the snowmobiles and everything else. We got some beautiful weather going on out here. The snow is all gone, and it is time to take the track off the snow bike. Probably a little past time, but I've been a little busy with some things that you guys are going to be coming, that you're going to be finding out what I'm doing and everything else, but I've been really a busy guy. But I got a little time this afternoon, and I decided that I'm going to pull the tracks off and put the wheels back on this thing. It's a pretty simple procedure. I've done this, going on 3 years, I think now, or something like that. I've gotten it down pretty well. The front ski, it's just basically the main bolt that goes through. And then I put the tire back on, and I actually have the tires sitting right back here. Right back there's probably about half a case of Bud Light that's been sitting here that somebody that has used my house up here for this winter coming up snowmobiling is left here, and I don't know what to do with. I drank a Bud Light. I don't know if you guys got to know what's going on with Bud Light and everything. Now Miller Lite's doing stuff too. But the front tire will go on there, and then the swing arm in the back, and there's one brace that goes up, and then the swing arm for the rear tire goes on, and that goes all on there, and then the tires will be on there, and I'll be able to take this thing out and ride this summer and stuff. It's been kind of a bad year for the snow bike. The snow conditions were not the greatest up here in the peninsula. When I say that, people go with the UP, it's the upper peninsula of Michigan. And some people in the peninsula are saying, well, I had a good year. Well, this is the peninsula. From Houghton, Michigan, there's a canal that goes through there. And then you go across the bridge there, and then that's Hancock, and then the peninsula goes up to Copper Harbor. That peninsula, that, we call ourselves the peninsula. But we have not had a great snow year. We just didn't really have a lot of the fluffy, deep snow and everything, and that's what the snow bikes strive for. You want that deep, fluffy snow. I got out a few times and everything, and I had some issues from the rebuild and stuff. It was all to do with the valves. I did these cheaper valves and keepers and stuff off of eBay and everything, and I continually kept having problems with it. And then I had the electrical problem. So this was down quite a bit of the year, constantly working on it, but I think that I have it all good. So I'm going to put the tires on it. I'm going to run it for the summer and make sure all the problems are taken care of. And then next winter it'll be ready to go. So I'm going to get started. All right, so you can see I got the shaft put through there and everything. And then I got the brake caliper mounted on there. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure to push that shaft in far enough so that you can get a rotation with it, not rubbing on the brake pad, but it's right aligned with it. And we're leaving this all loose right now. And what we're going to do is hook up the brake. And so I've ran the line up through where it's supposed to go and everything, and it's sitting right here. And what I need to do is I need to disconnect the brake line, which it comes with the snow track kit, and it runs down along the motor and goes to the brake caliper in the back on the snow track kit. So I've loosened this bolt up, and I'm going to pull this apart and just swap the two lines out. So now the front lever right here is actually going to be the front brake, because in the snow bike kit, it's actually the back brake, which is the only brake you have. So I guess I can't do this with one hand, so I got to get that all lined and everything. I kind of have to loosen the bag to run the cable better and everything else, so I'm going to do that real quick. All right, so I got the brake all bled and everything else. The front one, this one's easy. When you do the track, it's a little bit more, but I got all set. I got the shaft in there sitting loose and everything. So now to align everything, basically what I'm going to be doing is you're going to take the tire and you're going to spin it and then slam the brake. You're going to spin it, slam the brake. And what that does is that sets the forks in the position that they need to be. So now as I tighten the nut up, I'm going to hold on to the brake, and I'm going to tighten the nut up, and that is going to move the shaft back and forth to where it's going to spin freely. And then because the whole tire can go side to side right now, and you get that set and everything so that it spins very easily. See, there's a little bit of friction, so it has to go one way or the other. It's in that brake caliper and it's rubbing on one side. So we just have to move it back and forth until we get that exact position that it's going to be right in there without no friction. So free roll is real good. But that sets the forks so that they're in the right position by spinning it like that. Then we'll get that all set up and everything else, and then I'll tighten those 10mm bolts back up, tighten the nut up, and the front end is pretty much done except putting my guards on the shocks. All right, guys, we got the front wheel put all on. That's all set and everything's all done up there. Nobody's got to remove this track back here. I've already removed the chain, and it's pretty stiff. I'm probably going to end up getting a new chain before next winter. I'll probably hang that on a wall and get me a new chain. You know, you got to think the chain is always out in the elements, and it's wet all the time. You know, snow is water, so the chain's warm, gets snow on it, melts in there and rusts. Every time I ride, I always lubricate the chain before I go out, but you know, they can only last so long in those conditions. So next we're going to remove this bolt here, this nut right here, and then punch out this bolt. It has a keeper thing on the other side of that bolt. It's like round, but then it has a flat spot on it that keeps it from turning. This is where the top of the shock will mount when I put the rear skid on. So I just got to punch that out. It's a preset length shaft for this kit. This is an older kit on this bike. And some of them have threaded ones and everything else, but like that KTM I put together this winter, that had a threaded insert. You could adjust it to get more pressure on the front ski or less pressure and stuff. This one is preset. And then this big nut in here, this is a 22mm. Same thing, has a round end on it that captures it, this long shaft. And I'll just take this nut out and then use a punch and punch it out. And I actually have a big piece of threaded rod that I always use every year to punch this all the way through out. And then after that, the whole thing is just gonna slide out. I got the brake line all cut off where I have the zip ties along the frame to keep it away from exhaust and everything. I got all that loose and everything. And I gotta do is take out these 2 bolts, and the whole rear track skid is gonna come right out. Just pull it on up. Like so. Brake line out. I just tie this up, and then I'll put duct tape on the end of it to keep anything from crawling into my brake line. Kind of bugs and stuff. All right, so now we just take it and slide it back up in there. Slide our rear skid up in there. It can be kind of tricky with one person. And I always make sure that all these pins, I anti-seize them. I take this apart every year, so. There we go, there's the shock is in place. Close. Here we go. There's the bolt coming right there. So I gotta turn it so that the locking tab will get into the hole correctly to hold the bolt, and then I'll put the washer and nut on there, and put the washer and nut up on the top of the shock, down here in the bottom of the shock mount, and it's pretty much set. I do change the foot pegs. These are special foot pegs just for snow. They got real big spikes on them for your boots to catch, which also tear up my boots a lot because it's kickstart. I kick down and I'll catch those spikes and it tears up my boots. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but that's a kickstart. And so I'll change those out to the summertime ones. The new air vents, those will go on the air intakes up in front. I have those special ones made for winter to keep the snow from getting into the intake. I don't run those in the summer just in case I crash or something, you know, and I'll bust those up. Those are my summer wintertime ones. And then mount the chain on and mount the brake over on that side, and I'm good to go. Well, there we go, guys. It's all mounted up. Wheels are back on, ready for summertime fun. You can kind of see from my track going across the yard there.
I took her out for a test ride. Everything is running really good and everything. And I'm going to put it through the paces and make sure all these valves stay good and intact and everything. I actually put the original Yamaha valves back in. Got rid of those cheap eBay ones and put some original ones back in there. So I'm hoping that will keep it going. I am going to be keeping the Recluse clutch on there. I'm not going to go through changing it out and everything else. I'm going to be probably mostly doing trail riding and out in the woods and everything. I think it'll still help for that and everything. It's kind of a little cheating on a dirt bike, but yeah, it's all good. Don't need to really pull it all back apart. It's really helpful on the snow bike part. But there you go. She's all back together and running real good. I just took her for a little snort down there. I'll probably do some videos running around out in the woods and stuff with it. But I'm going to let you guys go. I hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day, great night as you watch this here video. And if you're not, well, you can try that all over again tomorrow. Catch you later.